Hi YouTubers, thank you for watching The Royal We. My name is Kevin, and in this video I want to help you out with one of the biggest challenges that you're going to face coming out of narcissistic abuse. And that is detaching and letting go from the unhealthy, toxic relationship. Now, you can become so dependent on the idea of the function of the relationship that it's almost like it becomes a part of you, an extension of yourself, almost like an appendage that you can't imagine living without. And so you become afraid to go on and live your life without this piece in your life. This is what makes detaching so difficult and so painful. And when it gets to this point, there's no way around it. It's going to be a very painful experience to separate yourself and to cut yourself free so that you can go on and live your life. Ultimately, you forget that you are an individual, a sovereign individual. And there is no part of you, there's no piece of you that should keep you from reaching your full potential. And that's why I'm making this video. And I believe the best way to illustrate this is by using a story of a man you may have heard of. His name is Aron Ralston. Now, for those of you who don't know, the short story behind Aron Ralston is that he's a young man who is exploring a canyon, and while he was hanging off of a boulder on his way into a canyon, the boulder became loose and it gave way. And it came tumbling down on top of him as he fell down to the canyon floor. The boulder, which weighed 800 pounds, had pinned his arm against the canyon wall, crushing it. And he was stuck. This 800-pound boulder would not move, and he stayed there for 127 hours while he tried different ways to get his arm unstuck from between the boulder and the canyon wall. He tried to lift the boulder. He was sure that he was going to end up dying there. He even made little videos like I'm making right now, saying his goodbyes. Something happened towards the end of 127 hours of being stuck on this canyon floor. Something ignited a fire inside of him that envisioned a life other than dying there on the canyon floor. And he did the unthinkable as he broke his own arm and then took out a knife and began to cut away his own arm until his arm was severed, freeing himself. Aron Ralston saw that he was able to live without this piece of his life, without his arm being attached. And he now travels the world inspiring people and helping people like me. I am inspired by his story. Now, I want to tell you this story again, but I want to parallel this story with your story coming out of narcissistic abuse. You are also an adventurous person, and you're searching and you're seeking for love and acceptance and all these things, and you fell into a toxic, unhealthy relationship that is weighing down on you like an 800-pound boulder, pinning you up against a wall, keeping you from living to your fullest potential, keeping you from being all that you're called to be. And you have tried everything to get out from underneath this 800-pound boulder, which is actually the toxic relationship. The only thing that you haven't tried yet is complete separation, because you can't imagine your life without this part of you that's pinned down by this toxic relationship. Now, if there's one thing we can learn from Aron Ralston, it's that your life is more valuable and your potential is far greater than this piece of you that is stuck. And so now the challenge is to take out this surgical knife of yours, and it's a metaphor, and start cutting away at the foundation. Now, the first thing that we want to do to get out from underneath this 800-pound boulder that's a toxic relationship, the first thing you need to do is you need to break the foundation. The first thing that Aron Ralston did was break the bone in his arm. The bone is the foundation. It's the strongest part of the arm. It's the frame that holds the arm together. In your situation, going no contact is breaking the bone. It's breaking the foundation, and it's painful. Now, breaking the bone was just the first part. It was one of the more difficult parts, but it was the first part. Now, Aron Ralston had to take out a knife and start to cut away at the flesh. See, once you go no contact, you have to start cutting away and severing the flesh and the soft tissue that still holds you to the narcissistically abusive relationship. This may be other people, mutual friends. It may be social media accounts. You have to start cutting these things away painfully. Again, I know sometimes you can't imagine living without your social media. Or maybe you have favorite cousins or friends that were mutual friends and you can't imagine being without them, but you have to start separating yourself. You have to start cutting these people away. Why? Because they're pieces that hold you together with the toxic, unhealthy relationship. Guys, it's not going to be easy. Surgery never is, especially when it's self-surgery. Listen, if there's anything we learned from Aaron Ralston, cutting away at pieces of yourself is very difficult. And I'm sure every step of the way he knew he was going to lose his entire arm. But his life was more important. Your life should be more important than these certain people that are in it. Right? Even friends of friends. Cut them away. I want to read a scripture with you. Book of Mark, Mark 9:43. If your hand causes you to fall into sin, cut it off. It's better for you to enter life crippled than to have two hands and go to hell. Now, why is this scripture important and what's it saying? Let me ask you some questions. Is being in a hopeless position sinful? I think so. Living a life where you feel hopeless, if you're not living your fullest potential, I believe that's a sin. If you're becoming bitter and angry all the time, that's a sin. What the scripture in Mark is telling me, that if you have to cut away a piece of you, it's better to go into life crippled, because at least you're going into life. Are you following me? So if you have to cut away a marriage, you're going to be crippled. You're suddenly going to be single. You're going to be without that marriage partner. You're going to have the label of being divorced, which can be crippling, but you're going to be alive. And it's better to be alive than to enter into hell, which is what is going to continue on if you stay in that marriage. If you have to separate yourself from parents, from mom, from dad, from brother, from sister, yes, it can leave you crippled. You'll be motherless, fatherless. You won't have brothers and sisters to call upon, to rely upon, but at least you will live your life. And that's better than staying in sin, staying bitter and angry and in a hopeless situation. Are you following me? Here's what Aaron Ralston had to say about his experience. He went back and he revisited the site where he was stuck and where he had to cut off his own arm. And this is what he had to say. I shed many tears, but it was in thanks for what that experience has given me. I think in general, what the adversities in our life really bestow upon us is the gifts to know ourselves. Wow. This right here is the comment that he made, which is why I'm making this video. Guys, this is what narcissistic abuse is all about. This is what healing is all about. Freeing yourself from the toxic, unhealthy relationships. I want to thank you guys for watching my channel. I hope that you guys like and subscribe and share this video. And if you guys need to talk, I'm here for you. My telephone number is right here. Go ahead and feel free to contact me anytime. Thanks guys for watching. Blessings. Bye. It's cold out here and things get a little fogged up. I really hope that you liked the video that I shared. And guys, if you do, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with all the latest material that I'm going to put out. Also, take advantage of the fact that I leave my telephone number right there for you to contact me. Now, I am working on a course, and in time the course will be available, and I hope to become more of a life coach and be able to help you through and walk you through the process of healing even more than I am right now. So, but until that time comes, take advantage of the fact the phone number is there. I do my best to answer each and every one of your phone calls, and I appreciate your comments. I appreciate all of your tips that would help me to better help you. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Royal We and for sharing this journey with me.